This is our AS evaluation. I'm Maisie.
I'm Bryony.
We're going to answer the evaluation questions.
We thought we'd do an interesting
Video.
Yeah, to make it
So we
more
have
appealing.
our actual views, I guess.
Yeah.
The first question we have to answer is, in what ways does your media project use, develop or challenge forms and confections of real media products?
Well, I think our video does this because we use stuff like titles and credits and...
Yeah, we used I looked on for the internet for some tutorials how to make professional looking openings. So we had our logo and the film title.
That's another thing, we made a logo which sort of adds to our sort of corporate...
Yeah. Well, also with the writing that you put up, you made that as formal and
Yeah,
professional looking as possible.
We took a lot of time with choosing the sort of the fonts for the credits, as we thought we didn't want it to look sort of childish or unprofessional.
Yeah. I think that we kind of developed it with the
Definitely
making the different texts and.
Yeah.
The next question is, how does your media project represent particular social groups? Well, this doesn't really fit for our one.
No, well,
as
I think
such.
it does fit social groups, as in it attracts people who like horror, obviously, and sort of the thriller sort of that sort of genre. And I think it does appeal in that sense, but it doesn't have like sort of
A specific one, really,
yeah,
does it?
it's not very specific.
I guess it could appeal to people who have policemen or have interest in kind of
or sort
crime.
of teenage girls who sort of think they may be vulnerable in that position.
I think young adults and teenagers are probably the ones that go and see these thriller films.
But from our results of our survey, we found that people from 16 to 63 would watch us, like horror and liked horror. So sort of, I think basically anyone from any age really kind of likes horror. It's just the sort of type of person.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we can talk about the social groups, really.
Yeah.
The next question is, what kind of media institution might distribute your media project and why?
We would like someone such as Warner Brothers, as they do quite a few horrors at the moment. Obviously, as we're a small company, that wouldn't happen. But
kind of really good horrors.
Yeah, they have done some really good horrors.
Any kind of the main film
Most
ones.
of the main horrors are Warner Brothers and that sort of thing. They're
really good with what they do with the whole
effects.
And
they're very good at effects and they're very good at sort of creating a creepy atmosphere.
But with the low budget, we had such a low budget, obviously for a school project, that we can, do much of the stuff that we wanted to do.
I think we spent £4 on fake blood, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, because with our first idea with the boat, we were going to hire a boat or going to get your boat, and it would have gone into costing.
It would have cost a lot, and also due to the weather as well, that definitely would have worked.
No, that would not have worked at all.
No.
Next question is, who would who would be the audience for your media product?
Hopefully the audience would be, as I said before, the people we sort of questioned in our questionnaires and surveys.
Yeah, the young adults, the 16
to 63.
Well, to be honest, anyone that really
Likes
likes horror or thriller is going to want to watch it. It's going to appeal to them. Next question is, how did you address your audience?
I think we did this again through our surveys and...
Yeah, definitely with the surveys.
And definitely our focus groups.
Our focus groups. We did 2 focus groups, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we tried our hardest to, see what they wanted in the film and tried to put that into the film.
What they would like and what they would want to see, and we tried to include that as much as we could, and I think we did achieve that.
Yeah.
Because there were loads of good ideas they all came up with.
Well, some of the ideas that we were thinking about doing originally...
They agreed with, they thought they were good.
They agreed, and then some of them they didn't. They thought that it would be too cliche or...
So we changed some of those ideas,
We changed them, I think
to
we
fit them.
with them, which I think worked well.
It did work
better than we probably had
hoped.
Yeah. The next question is, what have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this project?
We've learned, well, basically before we did this project we hadn't used Macs that much, and
no, not at all really.
No, and since this project we've basically been on Macs 24/7.
You do get a bit stressed with them.
Yeah, they're very temperamental, I found that, and we never used things like Premiere Pro or Photoshop.
You did most of the editing on Premiere Pro, because I found that
difficult
to use.
I got on with Premiere Pro, and Maisie got on with Photoshop a lot better than I really didn't like Photoshop.
We used photos in our film opening, so I had to edit those. Also, like I said before, with that After Effects, I had to learn, which I'd never used before. And watching the tutorials, I was thinking this is going to be really, really difficult, but it's actually a lot simple, and it's really clever.
It looks very scary, especially like on Premiere Pro when you see the little clips, you just look at them and think they're very scary, but you do realise they're not as bad as you think.
You open these programs up and you see like all the stuff down
all
the
sides,
writing,
everything. It really does scare you.
You don't know what does what.
Also,
and you just have to play around to really get used to it.
And like cameras, we had obviously used cameras and stuff before, but not sort of like video cameras. We hadn't looked at using them in certain angles, or maybe not necessarily.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, not necessarily on
like when we tried using the track.
Yeah, we tried using a track for to film, and
the up close bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just sort of collapsed.
Pulled it out, we could see the track in the shot.
Well, it didn't collapse. It like fell off the table.
It fell off, and we whacked your window, I think, with it.
Yeah.
And it was a disaster.
Yeah, and especially didn't we? What's the thing called?
Oh, the crane.
No, the tripod.
Oh, yeah, tripod.
We wouldn't have used a tripod before, well, not in the sense of filming videos where you have to move it about and stuff.
We really tried to use as many shots
as
we could. We were like, oh, how about if we try this angle? How about if we try this angle?
We moved the camera around so many times.
And when it was deciding on using the actual shots, we were like, which one do we use?
Because they're all quite similar and yet very different. Actually, we had some had different lights, so you had to be careful which one to use.
And you'd sort of do some shots at different times, and you'd be like, oh, maybe we should redo this and try and see if we can get it better. Yeah. We'd have a door open or a door shut, and you'd have to make sure you did that, which all these kind of things you wouldn't be aware of before.
No, you wouldn't have thought about it, you wouldn't have even considered it before.
No. And then the last question is, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you've learned in the progression of it to the full project?
Lighting.
Definitely. Because we filmed the preliminary at
night time. Because we wanted to.
It was December, but it was 7, so it was really dark.
We wanted to link it to our final idea of the horror and sort of try the sort of effects of horror. Yeah. And if we hadn't have tried it with the prelim, we would have been really screwed, because we wanted to do it in the dark. And, but we realised that is not.
We didn't really think about lighting. No. We just used street lights and kind of that was about it really, wasn't it? Street lights. So it made it kind of hard to see. And
we realised we got told it was dark, and we definitely
we got told that if we were going to do anything similar to this for our actual project, that we had to work out
lighting.
What lights.
Yeah, so we definitely learned about lighting, and I think at the beginning when we were doing our prelim, we obviously learnt how to use stuff like the programs, but I think it definitely, between the time of our prelim and our actual main project, I think we developed
got more
skills in it. You definitely, before you knew what you were doing, but you weren't very clear on what it was doing.
It definitely made you realise how you could do some of the stuff like the cropping and stuff, because to begin with we were like, how do we do this? And then when you go to do the actual project, you're just there.
And it's doing the prelim definitely helped us with the final, because if I just had the final clips and put it on, it helped
kind of realise what order, because you film it in different orders. So when we was putting it all in order was...
We filmed the prelim backwards. We did the speech scenes first, and then we did the walking after.
And the running bits.
And we realised...
Because it was dry when it was...
And we realised and we realised that you have to... It's easier if you film it in order just to... For when you import it, it's easier, it makes more sense.
Yeah. But I think sometimes you do, like I said earlier with the recordings, you record a bit and then you want to go and just see if you can get it just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And when you go to put that in order, that's like all messed up, so you have to spend ages trying to get it in order.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how long like 3-hour films would be doing something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
So yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project.
Yeah.
We had fun filming it.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.